In our last two sessions, we discussed a letter from a man who hated it that his wife demanded that he report to her everywhere he went and everything he did and said. I explained her controlling as a response to her emptiness and fear, and suggested that he respond by sharing his life rather than by angrily resisting and defending himself. I also suggested that there would be times that he would still tend to be angry, and that on those occasions he should not speak. Now, back to the writer of the letter. So if your wife is demanding that you report to her on some issue and you feel your anger growing, how do you withdraw from the conversation? Because I understand that she'll tend to resist your withdrawal. She'll tend to insist on your report. Again, it's about real love. You need to show that you care about her, but still leave the conversation, because no words spoken in anger will ever do any good. You could say something like this, quote, "Sweetie, I'll be glad to answer all your questions in detail, but right now is not a good time for me. That's not your fault. I'm just not doing very well at this moment. Can I come back to you in an hour or whatever time you choose?" End quote. If you make it clear that you really do have an interest in continuing the discussion and you set a time when you'll come back to her, it's quite likely that she'll sense that you're not trying to get out of the conversation, which will really annoy her. In other words, she'll sense that you care about her, which is the entire point of her demands in the first place. She just wants to know that you love her. Really, it's always about real love. You'll find it much easier to make decisions to be loving toward your wife if you feel more loved yourself. You can't give what you don't have. Learn how to tell the truth about yourself, your mistakes, flaws, and getting and protecting behaviors, and you'll create opportunities for other people to love you unconditionally. Practice talking with some friends. Read in the Real Love books and look at the materials on the Real Love website and learn what telling the truth looks like. Tell people how you have been unloving in your relationship with your wife. The books and websites will give you tons of examples. Yes, I know she's been unloving, but you need to practice telling the truth about you. It's real easy to point out examples about how your wife hasn't been loving, but that won't help you to feel loved unconditionally. It's harder to see how you haven't been loving, but with practice, you'll see it. For example, not seeing her emptiness and fear and defending yourself instead of sharing your life with her has been selfish and unloving on your part. I'm not criticizing you in any way, just giving you an example of something you could tell the truth about. You can tell the truth with your wife. That's another thing that you could do. When she attacks you about not telling her something, instead of defending yourself, you could say something like this: "I really should have told you about that. My mistake. I'll think about that more the next time." As you do that, not only will you diffuse the immediate conflict, but you'll be allowing her to see you as you really are, mistakes and all. Keep in mind that your wife may not respond immediately to this change in your behavior, but in the long run, she almost certainly will. And in any case, it's a guarantee that you will be happier. Real love always brings joy into our own lives. You can count on it.